Hello there everyone, Mediocre Otaku here, and today we're going to be finally looking at the Dirty Pair Kickstarter Blu-ray set released by what was supposed to be Right Stuff, but then, some shit went down and now Crunchyroll and Sony just kind of own everything. And I have a lot to say about this set because I waited like 5 years to get it, so let's get into this. So if you have the limited edition Kimba the White Lion or Astro Boy sets, this is pretty much the same setup as those, where it's like this thing goes inside this one and then all the discs are inside. Now, with my backer rewards, I did get other stuff to go along with this set, like a lamp. I think there were like shot glasses. I honestly don't remember what all I got because I got those years before I got this, and I don't remember where I put them because I didn't have like a set to keep them sort of with. So they're somewhere in my house, unless I was robbed. I just can't find them, so I can't show them off here. So here is the first Blu-ray case, which has the original TV series, which is 26 episodes with a little bit of an asterisk next to it. My understanding is that the TV series got canceled after 24 episodes, but there were still 2 more in production. So later on, they released those 2 as OVAs. And then, in subsequent airings of the TV series on television, they just added those 2 episodes. So it's 26, basically. And then, when we open this thing up, here are what appear to be 4 discs, but there are actually 5, because discs 1 and 2 are stacked directly on top of each other, which, for anyone that's into collecting physical media, especially Blu-rays, you want to make sure there's as little of a chance as possible of them getting scratched, because when Blu-rays get scratched, it is much, much more of a hindrance on the playback than on regular DVDs. So, immediately off the bat on this, I was annoyed. Especially, I waited like 5 fucking years for this set to actually come out, right? And then when I get it, I'm like, oh my god, like this stuff might have just come damaged immediately. And on top of that, fun little extra fact for any of you who are unaware, when this was mailed out, there was an issue with disc 5, or no, it was disc 4, where episode 24 did not play the right audio track. There was some sort of issue with disc 2, I believe. It was either 2 or 3. I got a replacement disc for either disc 2 or 3. I don't remember what the issue was with that. And then 2 of the movies that were included on this set were mislabeled, so it was like the wrong movie based off of what it said on the disc, right? So I waited for 5 years to get this set, and then when I get it, I can't even actually watch it because of how fucked up everything is. Luckily, Crunchyroll did send out replacement discs, but that took like several, like maybe a month extra. It was at least 2 to 3 weeks. Which is like fucked up. I don't understand how they can spend all of this time and still have like several issues with the release. But anyway, yeah, so I'll just take disc 1 out so you can see disc 2. It's pretty much the same as all of the others. And then there is some background art on here. So this is what the back of the insert looks like, just some like promotional art that was used for back in the day. Okay, then next up is the OVA series. This is like basically just a continuation of the original TV series for another 10 episodes. And what's kind of weird about this, and this like is not Crunchyroll's fault, this is just Sunrise's fault. The remaster process for these OVAs was like way different than what they did for the TV series. For the TV series, they like got rid of all of the film grain, which I don't really like. The stuff was made to be viewed like that. But they also like really saturated all of the colors. So they basically just did everything they could, this being Sunrise, because this is a common practice for them. They do everything they can to make their old stuff not look like it's old. So they'll super saturate all of the colors, and then they'll just get rid of all the film grain, and it just doesn't look right. It doesn't look bad, and I just like, I know this is not how this is supposed to look. But the OVA series didn't do any of that. So it's just weird that this is like a pretty much a direct continuation, and it looks so much different from the TV series, and I prefer how this looks. So it's unfortunate that um, they just kind of ruined the original TV series, but that's not a new practice with anime. And then this Blu-ray case has all of the movies, which I have not watched these yet. Taken just a little bit of a break. I've heard not great things about the movies, so I'm not like super in a rush to watch them. But I'm sure they're still pretty enjoyable. Here are all of the discs. Take this one out so you can read that. Then I'll take out the insert so you can see that. So these are the images for, I assume these are just like the theatrical posters for a couple of the movies. I don't really know. And lastly here is Dirty Pair Flash, which is definitely the most promiscuous looking cover art out of everything. This is just supposed to be kind of like a reboot to the series. I don't know much about this, but it was released over the course of a few different OVA series. And I assume these are all separated by, like these discs are separated by which OVA series they were from, but I could be wrong. Take disc 2 out just so you can see disc 3, even though there's nothing really new going on there. And then here is the back of the insert. And that is going to do it for the unboxing of the Dirty Pair Kickstarter Blu-ray release. This release was a complete disaster from start to finish, as far as I can tell. And even after it was finished, it was still a disaster. I'm glad that I have it. I like the show, but like for the amount of time that I waited for this, I mean that's issue number 1 right there, is just how long it took for this to actually get out. I don't know what was going on. Maybe if I go back and like just check through all my emails from Kickstarter, there's some information in there that I missed, but I don't get it. And then even after it came out, there were still issues, like major issues. So now it's all fixed. The big issue is if you want to buy this secondhand, there's no like distinguishing features between the discs that are wrong and the corrected discs. They look the exact same. They all have like the same numbers on them and everything. So it's like buyer beware for sure if you want to get this secondhand, because there's no guarantee it has the replacement discs, unless the seller on eBay specifically mentions that. But yeah, definitely a more negative review than my typical stuff, but I have to call out the bullshit when I see it, and there's a lot of bullshit going on with this. But with all that being said, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.